So, how did I get it? You know, if life is a game, I think I am usually on the winning side. You know, when I was a kid, I loved sports, and I used to spend days just dreaming about watching the World Series and the Super Bowl. And then for more than 10 years later, I got to watch every World Series game in person. Best of all, I was getting paid for watching the game. That's because I was a broadcaster and a reporter. I got to meet athletes in person, got to shake their hands, talk to them. I even had an opportunity to ask them questions that they did not expect as part of an interview that I was doing. And then, a few years later, I caught the acting bug, and I started theatrical, commercial, and film work. Now, when I am not performing, I would still work in the media world, creating these dynamic marketing strategies for clients all over the world. And I looked at other people oftentimes who had 9-to-5 jobs, and they were stuck in those jobs, and I say to myself, I cannot complain because I'm doing what I love. However, sometimes I get a little bit confused as to who really I am. I mean, I love acting, and to me, acting is not a job. It's a chance to be someone else in another life. And of course, you know, to make sure I continue doing what I want to do, it's very important that I protect my most valuable asset. And that would be me, myself, and I. You know, with regular exercise and healthy eating habits, I have to modestly say that I look a little better than most people my age. But like I said, I'm a pretty lucky guy. However, COVID changed my life in the past 2 years. I don't take liberties, and I just get up and I do whatever I want, whenever I want. I can visit the casinos to show how I can beat the odds. And then when I finally get to have dinner with a gorgeous lady, I have to hide my charming smile by wearing a mask and keeping social distancing. What fun is that? But sadly, theatrical shows were canceled, filming was suspended, and now when I get the job to film solo at my home, I have to double as my own photographer. But what can I do, right? You do what you have to do. You know, when the vaccines came out, although I did have some doubts like everyone else, I bravely took both doses in my arms. And after that, I still kept my mask on, and I maintained social distancing. Well, good old Charlie may be an expert at beating the odds at the crap tables, and he does take risks only when absolutely necessary. But somehow, yes, somehow, this virus still got the upper hand. I think it was back in December, early December 2021. I felt like this warm sensation with a running 100-degree fever. And now I wasn't too worried because I already had the 2 shots and I never took my mask off. So I thought there's no way I am going to get COVID. But to be on the safe side, I booked a doctor's appointment. And sure enough, I did a test, and he told me that I had COVID. Well, I was speechless, and frankly, a bit disappointed. By that time, after 2 days of fever, I was very weak, unmotivated, and totally disoriented. I just was not myself. And really, how can this happen to me? What happened to my good luck? Well, I drove myself home fearing for the worst. Now, the doctor did not check me in because my blood oxygen level was pretty high and it was strong. It was around 95 or so. So I wasn't in the danger zone. Or maybe it was simply that the doctors in the hospital were too overwhelmed and they had something better to do. I was told that my fever would go away. I don't know if that was their wishful thinking or they just knew it. But as a healthy senior with 2 shots, I was not that concerned. Hey, listen, having COVID is not fun, especially when the fever doesn't go away. Then, as the days went on, I noticed that I would be out of breath when I talked. Then I really started to worry. What if this means that my lungs were now infected? You know, I am not an opera singer, but the truth is I built my career with my voice. I can't lose my voice. However, I got weaker and weaker and weaker as the days went on. I panicked in day 3 when I started to read more about the breakthrough infections, the deadly Delta variant, and the residual symptoms. And then on day 5 is when I broke down and I cried. I just recall lying in bed, unable to sleep, and thoughts racing through my mind each time I tried to close my eyes. And I asked myself, what can I do? What can I do to stop this virus? You may laugh at what I'm going to tell you next. I asked Director Wang if the energy master I interviewed a few months ago could send me some healing energy. How did you go about winning so many awards?
其实我也觉得这些都是缘分，会做这个纪录片也是出乎意外，能够参与电影的演出更是不可思议。我有缘跟这么出色的团体一起合作，我觉得是我个人的一个荣幸。
A few months ago, I interviewed him when our team's work, Energy versus COVID-19, won a silver award for Best Short Documentary at the 54th World Fest in Houston. Now, Taiwan's COVID outbreak made that live interview just impossible. So Director Wang hired me to do it remotely. I told her I had just got my 2 COVID shots, and then I told her I was not feeling well. So she then suggested Master Zen Wan to send me energy to make me feel better. I didn't object to that. I mean, why should I? I mean, objecting to receiving energy from 7,000 miles away? I mean, come on. But I did feel the energy. So this time, I decided to ask him for more help. I was under quarantine at the time. I had to fight this disease alone. I didn't know what else I could do. So the master added me to his daily energy healing group. And Director Wang offered to pay the $70 fee per day for 3 days. When my fever was gone on the 3rd day, I then asked the master to continue the work for at least another week. 10 days later, I got a negative COVID test. So guess what? I beat Delta. And again, I guess I got lucky one more time. Now, I'm not going to say that remote energy healed me because, I really don't know. I don't know how I got it, and I don't know how I got rid of it. But I can tell you how I felt when someone from another continent sent the warmth through my palms. How I felt I was not fighting it alone. And now, as you can see, I got my voice back.